What's up, everybody? Brian Zane here. Well, I've got one question for you. Are you ready for the Summerslam? We are just hours away now from Summerslam 2024, taking place in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm pretty excited about this show here. There's some matches I'm a bit more intrigued and excited about than others, but for the most part, it's a pretty darn solid card on paper. I sure wish I would like to see either of the tag belts defended on the main show. Maybe now you have a 3-hour kickoff show before this thing. Maybe you can slip one or both of the tag title matches in there as well, just a suggestion. But even if that doesn't happen, I'm still excited for the main show. I'm excited for the Intercontinental Championship rematch, for instance, between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. Now, I know I was not alone in Money in the Bank predictions last month. I thought, oh, well, Braun Breaker is definitely going to win the belt here. And obviously that didn't happen. And, you know, with some time to reflect, I get why they did that, because they've spent a lot of time just in the weeks between that show and this show, just further emphasizing how much of a killer this guy is, Braun Breaker. And you know what? I don't think Sami's going to get lucky this time. As much as I love Sami, I think this is Braun's time, and I think he's going to win the belt emphatically here. I think Sami has done a great job being the Intercontinental Champion, you know, winning it at Mania the way he did, having great matches, defending the belt ever since then. But you know, all good things must come to an end, and I'm going to predict here that Braun will get his time here and defeat Sami to become the new champion. Moving on to the United States Championship match, Logan Paul will defend against Los Angeles Knight, and frankly, this is LA Knight's time. I really don't see them not putting the belt on him here, considering how they've been kind of dangling that carrot for the last solid year or so. Since the LA Knight boom really took place around I'd say, spring, early summer of last year. He's been on all these big moments and everything. Hey, he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal last year. I would love to see him, fly in on a giant meat stick, a giant Slim Jim, motoring on down to Cleveland to claim his U.S. championship against Logan here. Obviously, Paul's a controversial champion because he never defends the belt, and just like his other online exploits alone garner controversy. And it's just one of those things where, Logan Paul is a champion. It's a great little piece of heat, a great little piece of business for WWE. But I think this is going to be a show where there's going to be a lot of feel-good moments, I would feel. And I think that LA winning the belt here in Cleveland is going to be an all-timer big moment for him to win the belt here. For the Women's World Championship, certainly one of the most interesting and captivating storylines of the last several months, taking place here as Liv Morgan will defend against Rhea Ripley. What a crazy domino effect of circumstances we had to get here. Because first of all, Liv Morgan comes back from her injury. Rhea Ripley gets injured soon after that, and that's based on an injury that Rhea gave Liv Morgan in one of their last encounters. So it all comes back to this, and then while Rhea Ripley's gone, you got Liv Morgan seducing Dominic Mysterio. I think this storyline, even more so than Liv and Dom specifically, it has been a joy to watch the rest of the Judgment Day reacting to all the goings on. Seeing the way you see Finn and JD and Carlito popping out like cartoon characters, and they're trying to sneak a peek at what Dom and Liv are doing, and their facial expressions with the texts and everything. It's great to see their reactions. I do think the text message thing and showing off that rings a little too closely to the big scandal. It's kind of hanging a cloud over the entire company right now. Seems a little tone deaf on that particular wrinkle, but I think everything else has been a very interesting storyline. It's been very fun to watch, and I think seeing Rhea Ripley coming in and kind of reclaiming her man, so to speak, and Dom, and seeing how Liv reacts to that just opens up so many different possibilities for where this is going to go in the matchup here. I don't think Dominic is going to make a hard turn on Rhea Ripley here. I think that Liv will win the match. She'll retain the championship. Dominic will try to interfere on behalf of his mommy, and it will backfire in some way, and that will allow Liv to win. Do I think that we're still going to get, ultimately Dom and Liv together? I don't know. I think you could take that either or. But I think that there is going to be some business happening outside that causes Liv to win, but it's not going to be intentional by Dominic. Moving on to the WWE Women's Championship. Championship, Bayley will defend against Nia Jax. Nia won the Queen of the Ring tournament, which gave her the right to challenge for the belt at SummerSlam. By the way, I love that they turned the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments into something with actual stakes. Like, that's something that I think fans have been wanting, like, literally forever since the King of the Ring tournament was put in place, especially in the years that I've been following it. So for them to finally, so many decades after this initial concept, to be like, officially, here are stakes, I think that's nice. It gives you a reason to like root for somebody and see where things could go in the tournament. So the fact they actually had stakes and give you something to plant the seeds for SummerSlam all the way back, a couple of months earlier at these tournaments, that's very smart. And I think that Nia Jax and Gunther, who I'll get to, I think were great selections for tournament finalists and winners ultimately. From what I'm watching here, it seems the storyline is less focused on Bayley and Jax specifically, but it's more about Bayley and Tiffany Stratton, who won the Money in the Bank ladder match, and she's got this alliance with Nia Jax. It definitely feels like, it's opportunistic, and Tiffany's kind of going to use Nia as muscle to weaken down Bayley and allow her to cash in and stuff. They've already teased it once, and so I wonder if we're going to get that cash in on this night. It makes me think that I think Bayley is going to retain. I think that it's going to be an issue of what happens afterward. I know that the Money in the Bank intrigue and the mystery of when someone's going to cash in. We've already gone through that with the men's, and I think that if we just get it over with sooner than later with the women's briefcase and just have no briefcases for the rest of the year, that wouldn't break my heart. I think that, kind of thinking about what happened with the briefcase last month for Drew McIntyre, it's one of those concepts where it's like, yeah, it's a bit of intrigue and a bit of, what's going to happen here that had its time, but it doesn't really fit in this current incarnation of creative. So I wonder if they'd find a way to kind of just get out of the briefcase early for Tiffany as well. So I could definitely see Tiffany cashing in and beating Bayley here after the fact. It'd be kind of poetic justice because that's how Bayley actually won a championship herself at Money in the Bank many years ago. So it'd be kind of a full circle moment. Is it Tiffy time yet though? I don't know if it's going to happen like this early at SummerSlam. But gosh, it kind of weighing the options in my mind right now. If I had to pick an option, I would say, yeah, Bayley's going to retain against Nia, and then Tiffany will cash in, and let's just say she succeeds and becomes the new champ there. Speaking of wrestling royalty, the King of the Ring, Gunther, the former Intercontinental Champion, just pivoting right on from that championship scene to the world title scene. He's going to be challenging Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight title, and this is going to be, I love a good, hard-hitting Gunther match, and I think that he and Damian are going to put on quite a physical show here. Damian's got a lot to prove because all of his previous big title retentions, his big wins, have been with the help of other people, namely CM Punk. And so how will this, how will he go when he's kind of on the fringes, where he and his relationship with the rest of the Judgment Day isn't quite as clear as it's been, where now it seems that maybe Finn is going to take over perhaps. I think that will definitely play a role in this one as well. I think Gunther is going to win. I'd like to see him just win clean, straight up. I don't think it's going to happen though. I think that this is going to be a situation where like Finn, JD, Carlito, some combination of that outwardly, betray and screw over Damian Priest. It's going to be interesting how this matchup and the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan matchup will interact with each other if they do. I wouldn't be surprised if we get kind of like part of the story and part of the story together in these two matches here, and maybe like one domino falls and then we get some other big payoff here with the World Championship matchup, or maybe vice versa depending on when they book it. But I think that there will be some chicanery going on, and that will allow Gunther to become the world champion, and I think that will be a good day when that happens. Charles Montgomery Punk will take on Drew McIntyre in the Grudge match of the year. I'll give WWE credit where it's due. They've done a great job building up this story for the last several months. The way they pivoted after Punk got injured at the Royal Rumble, the way they kept that story going despite Punk being hurt. Punk, God bless the fact he's able to actually, carry a good promo, and that's been keeping him going for a long time. But now it's got to this point based on when you hear the reaction from Raw this past week. Granted, they were a rough crowd all show, but the fact that they, weren't really able to muster up energy for Punk by the end of that promo that he had with Drew, it's like, is this Is this a kind of a canary in the coal mine situation? Is this indicative of a diminishing return thing with Punk? I'm not sure. I think it's once he wrestles again and actually has matches and has the ability to talk about other things and experience other things as a character in WWE, then I think it will be good for his character. I think they've been doing this for such a long time, but now I think we've gotten to this point where, okay, we're getting this match. Something's got to happen here. And, Seth Rollins being the guest referee for this match is obviously going to add a lot of intrigue. I can really see either of these guys winning. Obviously, Seth being the referee means that something's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we get somewhat of a recreation of SummerSlam 97, honestly. I think that it's going to be an issue where Drew beats CM Punk. And, I think it's going to be one of those, where something happens where Seth gets involved, either, purposely or inadvertently. And, that will ultimately be the deciding factor. But, Drew really could use this win because he's had a lot of big moments taken away from him. They've sacrificed a lot of things in this process, the world title win at WrestleMania, Clash at the Castle, Money in the Bank. They've definitely got a lot of mileage out of this angle, but it feels like this is going to be the put up or shut up time. And for as highly anticipated a match as this is, I really hope it's good. I really hope for it to be a good one and for everyone to be safe and have fun and not get hurt. And I think that in the end, though, Drew is going to win. Finally, for the undisputed WWE Championship, the Codester, Cody Rhodes, will defend against the new leader of the Bad Bloodline, Solo Sikoa. Of course, Solo's been on quite the meteoric rise over the last several months, to kind of basically taking the place of Roman Reigns as the leader of the Bloodline, shaping it in his own twisted image, bringing in Guerrillas of Destiny, bringing in Jacob Fatu, and, it's been a game changer. I think it's really, this new coat of paint, this new shakeup of the Bloodline has certainly kept it very interesting. And all it's been leading to, though, and you hear it in the chants every single week, they want Roman. And oh yeah, they're going to get Roman in this matchup here. I feel it's going to be a kind of a similar situation to when Brock came back a couple of years ago, where it's going to be after, it's going to wait until the match is over. But I believe that, Cody's going to go through hell. He's going to go through all those Bloodline members. He is going to win the match. He will retain the belt. And then I'm thinking, oh, it's beat down, and just when they're gonna just totally kill Cody, that's when we get the big return of Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman will be clean shaven and he'll be all happy again, and he'll bring out Roman Reigns, his tribal chief. And it's set itself up to be a great return, because I think people really got so sick of Roman in the spot that he was in after a while. It made sense for him to be in that position for as long as he was, to make Mania this year mean so much more. And I think it was such a bright idea for them to keep him off TV and just let him be a ghost for all this time since then. It's been a good long break. It's going to be a very interesting landscape once Roman comes back, because, he is that kind of diminished dates guy. He doesn't wrestle as often, but fans miss him. They want to see him back to get his revenge on the new Bloodline. And I think the fans are really going to gravitate toward him for that. But then, of course, that leaves this big question. Where's that going to leave Cody Rhodes? Because, he might still be the champion for now. I don't think Roman's going to win the belt back, honestly. I think once you have a reign like his, you're kind of done. And, you don't need the belt anymore. You are the new, God King. You are that new kind of attraction character. So, the belt doesn't really matter at this point. I don't think Roman will ever be the champion again. He's certainly not going to beat Cody for it. But I think that, if they play this right, they can have Cody and Roman exist in the same WWE universe together and maybe not have one diminish the other's reactions. But I do worry how Cody's standing as the de facto top babyface is going to be once Roman comes back. And maybe long term, how fans will react to Roman. Will they be just so happy he's back to fight Solo Sikoa, or will they just be reminded of the Roman Reigns they got bored of by the end of his run as the tribal chief? Time will tell with that one, but I think one thing thing you could definitely count on based on how many times I've been just banging it into your head. Roman is definitely showing up at the end of the show, like after the matchup. We're going to get that stare down, and it's going to be all crazy. But those are just my thoughts, folks. What do you think is going to happen this weekend at the Summerslam? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, I'm going to see you on the other side on Monday, maybe Tuesday at the absolute latest, with my review of SummerSlam. And hey, after the first week of August, when I review New Japan's Super J Cup 1994, assuming I can get away with it, don't tell nobody, it's our little secret. The rest of August is going to be chock full of classic SummerSlam reviews, beginning with 1990. But until then, folks, I'm Brian Zane, and I will see you next time. Enjoy SummerSlam.